Hello guys, before we start the video I highly recommend watching my old Delacroix guide for gaming optimization. I recently received a lot of feedback about it, so please let me know if the video helped you so I can make more. So let's start by talking about the most common gaming monitor sizes. We got 22, 24, 27 and 32. Bigger screens are usually used to play MOBAs or single-player games. Smaller size monitors are used in the competitive scene, and in this video we will explore together why. But first, let's see what the next pro player has to say about monitor sizes for competitive gaming.
Are 27-inch monitors bad for gaming? No. I would say that's your max, though. If you get like a 35 and you game on that, it's gonna be bad. You don't want your monitor too big, right? Because then there's too much to look at. But 27 is like the max I'd go. I think 24 is probably the best of the best for gaming in terms of size. Like once you start getting higher, you start going lower, it gets a little weird. But 27, it's okay. You know?
Shroud is right, there is too much to see, and so there is too much information to process. Another reason though is that 1080p resolution is still the best resolution to get a balance of frames and visual quality. Ever wonder why people with 10+K computers play Apex at minimum settings and 1080p? Frame rate is the answer. You can also pause and read the full slides if you want. A 24-inch monitor also fits your focal point, and what is that? The focal point is the area the human eye can keep in focus in the middle of our field of view. You can do a simple test to understand better what I'm saying. Try to read the word in the top left of your screen, and without moving your vision, try reading the bottom right words. Of course you can't, because our eyes only focus on a small area, and the only thing they see around it are movement and large shapes. Having a small monitor also decreases the head movement when you play. Head movements are way slower than eye movements, and if you have to turn around, your focus area increases. Also, instinct will push you to move your head automatically when your eyes can focus on too many details outside the focal point. When a monitor is too big, this happens way often, but with a 24 inches monitor, this will not happen because you will cover 24 inches of focal vision or a 24 inches surface, not requiring you to move your head. But not all the 24 inches monitors are the same. For gaming, we can take in exam 3 different panel types: IPS, TN and VA. IPS panels are probably the cheapest ones because they really suffer from the so-called ghosting effects. For some games it's no problem, but for fast-paced game they will put you in a big disadvantage. Maybe in the future we will have faster IPS panels, but for now this is not the best choice. TN panels. They are very good for FPS shooters, and with the response time of 1 millisecond you will never have problems with ghosting or blurry lines. VA panels have the highest response time by default, 5 milliseconds. That means that these monitors suffer from motion blur. You can also find much faster panels, but the TN panels are still king of the castle. Now that you know the theory, I want to show you some examples in-game and explain to you why I use the settings I use. Let's see why using low graphics settings gives you an advantage in pretty much any game. Focus on the bushes on the left and see how much easier it is to see through it in low settings. With high settings it's almost impossible to see anything, and that will put you in a bad position if your opponent can see through it better than you. If you keep the low settings, you can land shots like this one on people that probably can't locate your position because of the forest. Let's talk about the UI. I personally play on a 27 inches monitor, which is not optimal for FPS shooters. So, a way I have to cope with it is to reduce the size of the UI so I don't have to move my eyes too much to see all I need to see. Like the boss icon. If you switch to 100 for the UI, you will notice how much bigger and far the boss icon becomes. Not very good if you need to focus on many things at the same time. So I switched to 83 to compensate the fact that my monitor is too big, theoretically solving the problem a bit. If you play on a 27 inches, I highly recommend to switch to a 83 to 85 UI scaling on Showdown. If the equipment opacity is at 100, the equipment bar is too invasive and will cover too much of your screen. Not very good if you're trying to spot enemies, especially if you aim higher or you are in an elevated spot. But if you put it to 19, you will notice how much visibility you gain while still be able to see your equipment. I apply the same principle to the health bar. The bright red can be very annoying when you are trying to see your enemies and you get shot from the distance. Another important thing that you have to check is this setting: highlight interactable objects. If we exclude doors and windows, all doors and windows will stop glowing, and this is a very important thing to fix because it will limit your visibility. With the setting on, it's almost impossible to see through the doors, because the white glow will limit visibility every couple of seconds, immensely reducing the chance to see anyone inside. This setting affects every element that you can interact with in-game, and depending on the situation, a badly timed glow can burn your chance to wallbang someone. So just change this setting to exclude doors and windows and you are good. So now you know why the monitor is such an important choice and why pro players play with low settings. I hope this video was useful, and if it was, please consider subscribing to the channel. I will see you guys every day on Twitch at the link in the description. Buy and don't buy ultra-wide monitors.